What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Soulfly Trades here, back with another video. And in this video, I'll just be explaining what I'll be looking for in this next trading week and going over some of the news that we have at the beginning of the week. So without further ado, let's just look at what kind of news we might have at the beginning of this week. Monday, we have U.S. leading economic indicators, and the Richmond Fed President, Tom Barkin, has a TV appearance. So that's not really, that's not really something that's going to move the market too much, but still news. Tuesday, we have existing home sales and minutes of Fed October 31st FOMC meeting. So this one is important. Tuesday, the market will move a lot. So I just want you guys to be ready to take some opportunity. Wednesday, we have initial jobless claims. The market will move a lot for the initial jobless claims. Of course, Thursday is Thanksgiving, and Friday we have the S&P Flash U.S. Services PMI and the manufacturing PMI that around the same time at 9:45 on Friday. So next week we should see some good movement. We did kind of stall out last week, if I do say so myself, with the buying volume. Like, we will only get moves during pre-market, and then during the whole day on SPY, we just be chopping around, trading sideways. And that did trap me out of some of my trades. So in order to try to mitigate how often I'd get trapped in, so I wouldn't just be throwing my money in the markets for no reason, I started looking at Apple and taking Apple plays, because Apple, whatever movement Apple has, the contracts always move nicely. So I've been looking at Apple too. As of right now, I need to have at least one other ticker for when SPY is, trading sideways and doesn't have any real movement. Well, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into what I'm looking for next week. So I have SPY here. We're doing our top-down analysis, starting from my weekly time frame here. As you guys can see here on the weekly, let me move myself over here real quick. We have volume starting to re-increase here on this push above, and we're right here at this neckline, sort of, to where we should see some kind of reaction. I don't see any wicks to the upside, so sellers aren't really convincing, and we didn't really get any pullbacks last week either. We were just trading freaking sideways, and it was actually pretty crazy, pretty ridiculous. But if I'll be looking to take anything, I'll be looking for price maybe to reject. Let's say I'd be looking for price maybe to reject in this 453 area right here. I'll be looking to take these rejections. This is another key area we have right here around this 453.57. I'll be looking to see if price makes, if we blow through it, or if sellers come in strong, we could reject this and basically drop 10 points. That's basically what I'll be looking for, is those rejections there around 453. Now, if we move to our daily time frame, let's see what the daily is looking like here. We had a gap up here on our daily. Just want you guys to see that. Nice gap up here. So maybe what I'm thinking is we might get to 453 and refill the gap to the downside before we make another move back up. It's possible. So I'll be looking for that. Let's move down to our 4-hour time frame. I'm sorry, this is my hourly. Let's move to our 4-hour. Honestly, I like to take, for intraday perspective, since we have this sort of zone right here, I see a zone in between these levels right here. This 448, in my opinion, is like a zone where we could look for buyers to initially step in. And if they don't, if we fail this zone, in my opinion, then we could see a little bit of downside, at least 2, 4, 4, 3. So I have a buying zone right here. We're just kind of bouncing off of it, bouncing. So I'll be looking to take calls off of this 448 area come next week, or if we break below this area and retest it with selling volume, I'll be looking to take shorts. My target will be around like what is this, like 446, 447. Yeah, if we're in this 448 area, I'll be taking like 447 puts. Just being cautious, because I've noticed on weeks like let's go back to the weekly, like weeks we have big moves and things like this. I notice we have very light intraday movement. So if we have, I don't know, 2 weeks of gnarly movement, that third week we might have a rest week, which means price is just trading sideways. It keeps closing around the previous day's price. Essentially meaning it's not really going anywhere, and that's not really that good to trade. What was it on Friday? Was it Friday? On Friday, my contracts also got a little melted due to the fact that the market wasn't moving anywhere on SPY. I made a couple dollars off Apple, but my SPY contracts got kind of melted simply because the time decay. But yeah. So that's basically what I'll be looking for. That 448 area is looking good for the intraday perspective. As you guys can see here, I'm on my hourly time frame. This is our intraday perspective. This 448 area has proven to be an area of support that we can count on to take call options given correct price action. And if we do so happen to fail it, we will be looking to take shorts in this area if we break out of this area and come back to retest it with high selling volume and low buying volume on the push back up on the retest. But let's go ahead and let's go to Apple really quick. So as far as Apple is concerned, let's look at this top down really quick. Oh my gosh, my Apple chart is wonky. Let's just start this default. All righty. So what I'll be looking for in Apple, honestly, we're at this sort of resistance area at this 190 area. If we break above this 190 area, we technically have room to 198. Yeah, we technically have room to we technically have room until 196, in my opinion. Yep, this 194 to 196 area is going to be very valid. So I'll be looking. Let's mark that in, actually. I'm just going to be marking the levels in that I see here. Yeah, so in my opinion, we do have into that 196, 194-ish, 196. I'd be looking for some kind of resistance around that 194. I'd be cautious around that 194. But I think we'll have major resistance around this 196 to 198 area, since these are the highs of all time. There's 194. I could see some sellers possibly coming in simply because once we got around this 194 area previously, the last time we did, it just sort of rejected back down to basically 188, 189. So I would just be cautious around that. I'd like to take calls around this 189 to 190 to 192 at least, if price action presents itself. I don't need to catch the biggest move, I just need a quarter of the piece, you know what I mean? Manage my risk right, my 3 contracts, and we'll be Gucci. Let's go down to our daily time frame. Ooh, yep. Look at this daily. How it kind of broke above this 189 to 190 area, and it tried to reject it with this previous candle also. And it looks like sellers got down to 188 to try to make it fall below our key level here, but buyers bought it right back up, which is telling me that buyers are here, my friend. And this this bearish volume bar right here is telling me this is mainly a buying volume, not bearish volume, simply because the bears got it down and the buyers brought it back up. So I think we could see some nice upside this next week. We're also about to fill the gap. Did we fill the gap? I think we did fill the gap. Yeah, we already filled this gap to 191 on Apple. All right, we filled that gap. We have another minor gap. Another minor gap. I don't know if I want to consider that a gap. I won't consider this a gap, but a little minor kind of gap here. I don't want to even consider this a gap. But yeah, this is more or less a gap right here. It filled it to the upside. But yeah, let's go down to this hourly, or 4 hour. I mean, apologize everybody. Ooh, the only thing I don't like is we're just looking a little weak on this 4 hour. Although we are still holding these EMAs upwards. I want you guys to notice that here we're holding our EMAs to the upside. Very strongly on Apple. I feel like as long as we keep holding these EMAs, especially on this 4 hour, we should be good. Yep. We're still in this upward trending fashion here. Yeah, so that's basically what I'll be looking for. Calls on 189 to 190. Take it to shoot previous highs, honestly. 199, 191. Yeah, because Apple usually moves somewhere between $1.50 to $2 a day on like sort of the average. So I'd be looking to take, if I got it at 190, if I got in calls around the 190 area, I'd probably look to take it to 191.50, maybe, you know, given that buyers are strong. Now, if it's like a slow chop upwards, then I'll be taking profits at the highs. But if buyers come in really hard, then I'll hold simply because the market is telling me buyers have strength here and we could keep going, you know. But if I start to see it's stagnating right at the top of this, once we start approaching these highs, then, you know, I'll sell 75% of my position, hold a runner to see how we react around those previous highs, basically, to see if I'm inclined to be able to still hold my position, to be able to still hold my runner, you know, to lock in some more profits. But other than that, that's really all I'll be looking for this next coming week. Maybe, you know, I'd be cautious. I guess we could look for rejects around this 190-ish area here, this little what is this supply zone that we have here. It's a little minor little supply zone here. So I'll be looking maybe to short it in this area. But if we were to break above it, I'd be looking for calls to that 192 area. But other than that, that's basically it for this week's weekly watch list. I appreciate everybody for tuning in, and I will see you guys on the next banger. Peace.